So the corollary, or a corollary to this, to the base angle theorem is this. If a triangle is equilateral, then it is equiangular. So let me start by saying this. We have been taught probably since a very young age that an equilateral triangle has all three sides and all three angles the same. Okay? And I have a perfectly drawn equilateral triangle there. But what this is saying is, look, if I have this side and this side, right? Technically that's an isosceles triangle, correct? Well, hold on. Let's go through the. I'm gonna explain. Yeah, equal angular. But what I want to explain the justification for this. So I have a triangle, and I have two congruent sides, correct? So then what do I know? I know that this base is congruent to this base, right? But equilateral, the word lateral means all three sides are the same length. They're congruent. So that means that this side would be congruent, right? So now if this side and this side are congruent, what does that tell us about this angle here?
It's congruent.
It's congruent, right? Because these two angles have to be congruent as well. Does that make sense? So it's a corollary of the base angle theorem, because if I were to label this and I were to say the angle A, angle B, and angle C, I would say if AB is congruent to AC, then angle B is congruent to angle C, and if CB is congruent to CA, then angle B is congruent to angle A. So this is just the base angle theorem, and then it's being applied a second time there. So then you could say, so if AB is congruent to AC and is congruent to CB, then angle A is congruent to angle B is congruent to angle C. And so what this is saying, this is the equilateral. Lateral, or that, this means side. Equa means equal. And this means equiangular, which means that the angles are equal. Okay? But when we teach this to you guys in elementary school, we say, hey, an equilateral triangle just means that all three sides are the same and all three angles are the same. By the way, angle A plus angle B plus angle C have to add up to what? 180, but they all equal the same, right? So I could replace or substitute A for all of these and say angle A plus angle A plus angle A has to equal to 180, right? Or 3 times the measure of angle A equals 180. So then I would divide by 3 on both sides, and I would get that the measure of angle A equals 60 degrees. But guess what? That's also the measure of angle B, and it's also the measure of angle C. I should probably put an M in there so you guys know we're talking about the value. Okay? So on an equilateral triangle, what is the angle measurement for each angle?
60 degrees.
60 degrees. Always.
Is it LA or MLA?
What's that?
Does that say MLA or LA?
It's saying M angle A, so that means the measure of angle A.
Oh.
Yeah? Are there any questions on this one?